One of the biggest sprint car situations still without a resolution for 2026 is Donny Schatz's future. Since getting released from TSR after the Knoxville Nationals, we've seen him race for Big Game Motorsports. He raced for Lunstra. He ran out west with Paul Silva and Works Limited, and now he's been racing this new deal with this kind of joint side situation with JVI. Since August 15th, Schatz has run 18 World of Outlaws races. He's got 1 top 5, 7 top 10s, and 2 B main exits. His average finish in features made is 12.5. Those stats are about as unshots as it gets when you look over his entire kind of body of work and career. And he's still winless in a sprint car since Lincoln back in October of 2024. I do think one important bit of context on this most recent stretch, though, with JVI and sides is that Schatz is pretty significantly down on equipment. They can't afford to, crash or pop engines, and I'm sure that Schatz is really driving accordingly. Schatz's numbers have certainly taken a hit, but I don't know that he's as bad as the results show here lately. My batting average over the last several weeks for silly season stuff, I think it's sitting pretty good right now, but this Schatz deal is just a tough one to call. Several weeks ago, it sounded like Schatz basically had his 2026 plan set, but here on October 22nd, I don't know where we stand. The deal he supposedly had might not be happening, or maybe it still is. I had a text yesterday from someone in the sprint car community that word is going around that Schatz is retiring, but I just don't know what to believe right now. The rumored ride that Schatz had locked down was a deal back at Big Game to be partnered up with David Gravel as a 2-car operation for 2026. And that was obviously where Schatz was supposed to be after losing the TSR deal, at least for 7 races, but things fell apart after that first night Ogilvy crash. Big Game didn't have the equipment and the spares necessary to field a second car post that crash, and that was when Lunstra stepped in. Big Game team owner Todd Quiring continued to back Schatz, though, during that Lunstra stretch. In the weeks since, I've heard of crew members telling people they were going to go work at Big Game to be on Schatz's car for 2026. I've heard stories about Quiring in the market and shopping around for a second trailer. Obviously, he's going to need more stuff if he's going to run a second car. And Schatz's name hasn't really been in the rumor mill kind of tied to any other deals. And when I share stuff here on the show, it's usually backed by multiple sources, or at the very least one really good source. But the word on the streets around Schatz, it's just too scattered right now to know what to take seriously. If it's not Big Game, I don't really know where else it would be. Tom Book and Book Motorsports with the 13, they're looking for a young driver. And Schatz has said multiple times he's not a high limit fan. I guess it's possible he could stay on with the sides thing if maybe he could find some more backing, but I don't know how realistic that is, especially given the equipment is already pretty sparse. Everything else on the national level pretty much off the market right now. I have heard from people, though, that Donny himself doesn't seem to be too worried about any of it, and that he's been in good moods out on the road. I guess take that for whatever it's worth.